Hello and welcome to Back to School Night 2020, probably one of the most unique back to school nights you've ever been to. My name is Katie Watson and I am your student's Physics of the Universe teacher. So a little bit about me. I grew up in the area. I went to Camp Alindo High School. Don't worry, I'm 100% Matador now. I studied environmental science at Cal for 4 years of undergrad, and then I went back to school at St. Mary's to get my teaching credential. This is my 8th year at Miramonte. I've taught math for 7 years, and this year I'm embarking on a new journey of teaching physics of the universe, which I'm really excited about. Other things that I'm involved with on campus are cross country. I'm an assistant coach for the cross country team. I am a staff advisor for the Link Crew program that welcomes new students to our campus. And I'm also the staff advisor for the Women in STEM Club. Let's start just by talking about distance learning and the plan for our time learning from home. In general, the weekly plan, you can see in the chart here, on Mondays, we'll be doing a video lesson, a check for understanding. Students will be doing that on their own. Tuesday and Wednesday, that first block of the week, we'll review the concepts from the lesson videos, we'll do practice problems, and then we'll work on some sort of lab or investigation to dig into those concepts further. Thursday and Friday, the last block of the week, we'll go over the lab from the previous class period, and we'll also work on problem sets that are also going to help students practice those same concepts that they started off learning at the beginning of the week. Asynchronous or on your own time, which you will see denoted by that little house symbol on my Canvas page, is going to primarily consist of video lessons and lesson checks for understanding. And then the synchronous or in-class time, which is designated by that little teacher at a chalkboard on my Canvas page, we'll be reviewing lessons. We'll use a variety of tools to do that, some built-in Zoom features, as well as some external features that students will be working with. We will have lots of group work to promote collaboration and team building. And then we'll also be conducting some lab investigations during our class time. Canvas and Zoom, here's just some of my helpful hints for navigating my Canvas page. The home page is really where you can find all the information. There are hyperlinks to all of the assignments or anything where I have material posted on Canvas. Modules, that page is your home base for navigating through all the course content. It's organized by week and broken down further by day. Zoom, all the Zoom links that students will need are available on the Zoom tab. They're also available in the home page as well. And then there's a grades tab where students can go in and check on the grades that they've received for different assignments. Those are some of my expectations that you can see on the screen for Zoom. The most important would be that students try to do their best to arrive on time, to be prepared, and to ideally to have their camera on. Students should try to remove distractions that are available around them, such as cell phones. That's probably the biggest one. And then the last one that I just want to highlight is respect. I expect students to be respectful of each other during our Zoom time, just like I would during class. And any unkind teasing or behavior will not be tolerated. And I will speak to that student immediately. Some of my expectations of students for the class, you can see on the screen. I'll just highlight a few of them. I expect that students respect each other, themselves. The classroom we're not in, but normally that would be something I would expect, especially working in a class with a lab room. Being responsible, I mentioned the coming on time and staying engaged. Asking for help is really big, feeling comfortable to speak up. Your student knows that in my classroom, there is no such thing as a silly question. And your student also knows that if they understand the material, that I expect them to help other students and not just hold in the knowledge for themselves. And then we're going to have a positive attitude. This is obviously a new, unique year, but we're all going to grow. We're all going to learn. I'm already learning so much. And your students are helping me through this process and being patient with me, which I really appreciate. For grading, the Physics of the Universe group at Miramani has decided to use standards-based grading, which may be new for you and for your student. So there's a table here that sort of outlines the main differences between the two grading systems, just to highlight a few of them. A normal grading system is on a 100-point scale. The standards-based grading system will be on a 4-point scale, and it's really meant to measure a student's level of proficiency towards achieving articulated outcomes for each unit. Students will not see a gradebook full of, assignment 1, assignment 2, test 1. They will see their gradebook full of outcomes. So graphing motion in one dimension, and then they'll see a score for how that indicates how proficient they are for that outcome. The assessments will be the primary piece of the primary tool that we use for grading. And I'll talk a little bit more about assessments here. Assessments are broken down into 2 categories. Formative assessments, which are quizzes and labs. Those are pieces that are a part of the learning process. So students may not have fully grasped all of the concepts. These 2 pieces, quizzes and labs, are meant to help students get to that full understanding. And then summative assessments are also going to be a larger portion of the student's grade. That would include things like unit tests and performance tasks. So those are more testing knowledge at the end of a learning unit. Coursework, such as problem sets, homework quizzes, in-class activities, lesson checks for understanding, those do not count directly toward the overall grade, but they will be tracked and reported in Canvas as complete or incomplete. And at the end of the grading period, if a student is in the B+ or the C+ range, which you can see in that table, and they have completed 90% or more of their coursework, their grade will bump up. So there's no sort of artificial boundary or a teacher deciding to bump up a student. It is directly related to the student's participation and effort in terms of completing and learning through those coursework assignments. One more piece with the standards-based grading. I mentioned the 0 to 4 scale. So this sort of outlines what each of those values between 0 and 4 means in terms of proficiency. And one thing that's important to know is that a 3 is the target goal for every student, for every standard, for all Physics of the Universe course classes. Extra help. This is something that's really important to me. I understand that physics can be difficult for students. Maybe your student is sort of challenging themselves by taking this course. Please encourage them to come get help from me. We do still have our academy times. Those are Wednesdays and Fridays. Now they're in the morning from 9 to 9:45 a.m. That's a really great time to get help with homework, to study for tests, to go over tests. And I might tag your student sometimes if I feel that they could use some extra support, or if we've had a conversation about them asking to come in for additional help. Other times for your student to come get help would be Mondays. Periodically, I will open up some office hours times for students to drop in for help. And then your student is also welcome to send me an email anytime to set up a Zoom appointment, and we can work together one-on-one to help them with whatever they're struggling with. Contact me. Email is the best way to contact me. So please reach out if you have any questions or concerns that are specific to your student. Please also encourage your student to reach out to me if they have trouble understanding the material, if they need extra time. if they are having technical issues with Canvas or Zoom, if they have any feedback about how the class structure or workload is going for them, and then if they're having trouble staying engaged, whether that's something for them going on for them personally, something, external happening at home, or someone else in the Zoom creating some sort of distraction that does not work for the student. I'm really here to help your student. I'm looking forward to a great year. I already know a lot of your students previously from some of those activities that I mentioned earlier on, or from having them in class last year. So it's going to be a great year. We have a really small group, so everybody's going to get a lot of contact with me and a lot of help. So I am really excited to start this year. I know it's not the way we all expected it, but it's going to be great. If you would like more information about any of the pieces that I talked about during this presentation, you can type that link into a web browser and it will pull up the complete syllabus for you. Your student also has access to that complete syllabus through their Canvas page. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening.